And my pet peeve is voter suppression. And just this week, I wrote my state representative a letter urging her to make sure that she's making the right decisions when it comes to what I know is going on, not just in Texas, but throughout the South.
Dale, this is wonderful information and insight and perspective that you share with our listeners and with us. So for sure, thank you for that. If anyone wants to reach out to you or get a hold of you or find you, is there a place they can go? Social media, email, anything like that you could share?
Of course, I'm on Facebook under Dale Long, and you can email me at Dale1906@Verizon.net. Dale1906@Verizon.net. Look to hear from you.
Well, Dale, we appreciate you. And Ryan, I know you were going to check in, but I want to definitely say thank you and look forward to talking to you again soon, man.
Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Thanks again for thinking of me. And I'm hoping that this few minutes spent will make Dallas a better place. And I'm looking forward to the results of the time we spent today. And again, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Dale. Thanks for joining us. And to our listeners, stick with us. This is Deconstructing Dallas. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Deconstructing Dallas. Ryan Trimble, Sean Williams. Sean. Wow. Dale Long. What a legend, man.
He is an amazing man, a great friend. I've known Dale and known of Dale for over 20 years, just things he's done for our fraternity and at meetings and hearing him speak. He always wears a bow tie, very distinctive in that way. But he is history, and I'm glad that he was able to help us kick off this new series. He really made me think about, when my family and I believe it was 2016, when we went on our own civil rights tour, and we went and visited Memphis and Lorraine Hotel and Museum, Civil Rights Museum. We went to Birmingham. We went to Selma. And, we really had an opportunity to see, and we saw the 16th Street Church. Have to post some pictures. We went inside, we went into the basement, I believe, or actually, no. I'm thinking about Dexter Avenue Church. We actually just went around. We didn't get to go in 16th, but it is a beautiful, beautiful church, as he mentioned. And just to think that was the site where this bombing took place and 4 little girls lost their lives. And I would suggest, and I know, of what work SMU does as it relates to their civil rights pilgrimage, but it's something people should always think about considering doing.
Yeah, my former mentor, the Professor Dennis Simon at SMU, God rest his soul. He was an incredible guy. I know that our colleague Samantha, who keeps us on track on our podcast. Thank you, Samantha. She went on the SMU civil rights pilgrimage throughout these historic sites, and I never went. Shame on me. It was kind of in its infancy when I was in school, but I'm glad that Samantha went, and glad that they continue the program. I know she really thinks that it should be required for all students, and I tend to agree with her. Lauren and I took, when we had not only one, not 2 kids, we drove to Memphis, and we did the Lorraine Motel and Museum. And man, just standing on that site is really powerful. That museum is really well done. So
it really is
one of the best museums I've been to, in fact. So, just these sites are important, and it's important to go and feel those feelings if you can. And sadly, we have some of those in our own city, but it's important to remember this stuff for sure. So grateful that we had Dale on to share his experiences, and that there are people like Dale out there.
And I definitely want to issue a challenge. I mean, I know that none of us have been able to travel, but prayerfully, as more people are becoming vaccinated and things are getting better with the pandemic, but hopefully maybe by the end of this year we can. But whenever we can travel, I definitely would challenge our listeners to do what you did, Ryan, and go to the Lorraine Motel. Memphis is a great city to visit, by the way. Amazing barbecue. Yeah. Go to the Lorraine Motel. Go to Alabama. There's also some sites in Mississippi, like Jackson, that we didn't go to. I hope to go to Philadelphia, Mississippi at some point. But Alabama, between Birmingham and Montgomery, I think I've shared a picture before where standing on the site where Jefferson Davis took the oath of office for the so-called Confederate states that were not a nation. But I was like, he probably didn't see the day when I'd be standing there. But like, it's what you said, Ryan. It's the feelings that you get when you're in this place, when you walk across the Edmund Pettus Bridge and walk down that hill and think about the people who were walking and saw the officers waiting for them with sticks and dogs. And, those are feelings that you get when you go to those places. So I definitely would issue the challenge to our listeners to go to these sites and learn and think about and feel those feelings that people felt as they were going through this back in the day.
Well, let me just, again, thank you for the opportunity to do this podcast. I'm excited about continuing our series. Long ago, one of our first guests was Fred Gray.
Yes.
And I remember being at the Lorraine Motel museum, and I'm texting you, I'm pushing a baby, and I'm like, Sean, I've got a picture of Fred Gray here. It's right here by the bus. It's right here, man. Look, I found him. And so, just again, thank you for bringing me on the journey and getting me in gear, and hopefully everybody else gets in gear and we get make progress and go forward to a better tomorrow.
Well, Ryan, I wanted to, before we go, take a moment to acknowledge the passing of a great leader in our city, a great man, a friend of mine, someone I've known over 20 years, and one of our former guests on our podcast. A couple of weeks ago, we lost Bishop Omar Jawar. He passed away and I didn't realize that he and I were born in the same year. And, he was also a friend of the family of Samantha, our partner and colleague, and her dad, Samantha and Jack Matthews. And so I want to take a moment to acknowledge his passing, the legacy Omar left through Urban Specialists, the Heal America Tour, and the countless lives that he touched through his service and brokering some of the first gang truces here in Dallas and work across the state. And, it's a huge loss. And I count us very fortunate to have our conversation that we had with him that we can listen to and we can keep referring to. But it is a huge loss losing Bishop Omar.
No doubt. I'm grateful that we had the opportunity to capture a few minutes with him, that we got to visit with him and, just hear his passion come through. So we encourage you to go back and listen to our first series from last summer. It's on our site, and we will be sure to share that and encourage everybody to listen to this series going forward.
Well, Ryan, this is going to wrap up our first podcast in this new series, but we've got a lot of ways to go, and I appreciate you. I want to give a big shout out to Samantha Matthews, who works on the show with us on our show notes and helps us also with our production. I want to thank MZ Studios, Michael Zavala. Thanks to the entire Allen Media team. If you want to learn more about what we're doing at Allen Media, not only through our podcasts, but also through our webinar, through other resources that we've compiled as it relates to using our voices and platform for positive change, you can visit Allen Media Action at allenmedia.com/action, or you can just visit our website, allenmedia.com. If you want to find Ryan and I on social media, you can find us on Twitter is the best place. rtrimble15 is where Ryan is, at rtrimble15. I am at Sean P. Williams, at SHAWNP as in Patrick Williams. We'll be continuing this series, but make sure you share this with the folks in your network. Feel free to leave us a review, but definitely share this with your network, because you can find this podcast on anywhere you get your podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, et al. So for Ryan Trimble, this is Sean Williams. We will talk to you soon. Adios.